I don't know what it's going to take for our society to realise that there is way too much violence going on in private. It's across occupations, it's across classes, it's across geography, and it's not reducing. In fact, it's one of the few crimes that is actually on the increase.
I chose to leave the marriage after having a knife put to my throat.
A few days later he walked in with another box of beer and I just thought, no, I need more for my kids.
He just pulled me back by the hair and kicked me really hard in the backside and then smashed my head up against the wall, and my daughter was in the room playing with a friend, and I just thought it was always going to come to the day when he could not control himself in front of other people. After I left, there was relief, but there was also fear and there was disconnect. I remember thinking I didn't really fit anywhere. I ended up staying at my sister's house for 2 years, but he still had access to me and he still turned up at my sister's house and abused me. Even when I moved here 2 years later, I still worried every time he came to the front door.
When there's a power imbalance in a relationship and it's gotten to the point where it's become violent, the ability of the victim of that violence to make decisions about themselves is then limited. And they actually, in many cases, unfortunately, fear for what will happen to them or their children.
The oldest daughter that I have, who was about 6, I believe, when we first got together, she also suffered a lot of depression and anxiety, and to this day still struggles because he was so manipulative and condescending and derogative towards her.
The eldest has viewed mostly the abuse that went on for the first 7 years of her life. My intention was only to protect the children from any further exposure to the anger and abuse that they've already been exposed.
The thing that's blown me out of the water is the empathy and understanding that you get from people who work within the domestic violence sector. They are amazing. But when that door closes, I'm on my own and I have to still deal with the financial and the emotional and the depression and everything else that I've got to deal with in my own home.